Well, Mario played in plenty of Chelsea-Arsenal games, which is always pretty spicy and enjoyable. Normally for Arsenal, a point at Chelsea would be a decent result. But bearing in mind where they are in the league now, they're 9 points behind Liverpool. No one's ever come from that far back. There's a lot of football to be played. How do you think Arteta will regard that result?
Look, he said that they played a good game. Okay, because you're away from home, so you have to see that slightly as like that. And you also have to be respectful because the way Chelsea's playing now is not like the Chelsea we have seen months ago. But away from that, you want to win that game. He highlighted it at the end because the distance is too big. And we have to remember, Arsenal now is trying to win the league, and the season before they were trying to win the league. So this is something that you don't want. Chelsea's trying to get to the Champions League. Yeah. That is totally different.
So, look, no one's ever come... They're 9 points behind. There are the biggest points deficits overturned. I don't think... Well, maybe you are. Are you going to say that Arsenal are out of the title race?
No, I think it's too early.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal are capable of putting a run together. Martin Odegaard impressed me today. Not only did he play well, but he looked sharp late on in the game. He got 90 minutes under his belt. Declan Rice can now have a rest. He's been playing with a broken toe. So you'd like to think Saka got a slight knock, but I get the feeling the three boys that played that I just mentioned, they can have a good rest now. And I think the big plus for Mikel Arteta is the fact that Odegaard played well. He was fit, he was available, he starred, he got his assist.
Played 90 minutes, I mean, not played since August.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing work. When I say away from the training ground, I mean away from the group of players, the work that he's been doing to try and get match fit. I wouldn't rule him out just yet, but what you would say, 9 at this stage of the season feels big.
It's big, though. But also what you just said, Odegaard. We have to also remember, we both know, when you're away from football for so long and you come back like that, I got to tell you, you're some player.
To be able to play like that.
Because it's very difficult,
yes.
to play like that and also be the magnet that every ball comes to you and you have the option because he thinks ahead of the game. And every time he gets the ball, he knew what he had to do with it. And I think, I mean, we all knew that he was a great player. But today, in a big game like that, being out for so long, he proved...
Well, he showed obviously his skill, but he showed his drive, didn't he?
I think the only dynamic when you think of the 9 points, and I think you look over the years, when you're trying to chase down Man City, at some point it puts a lot of strain on mentally trying to catch them, mentally trying to stay in the race, mentally trying to chase them down. We saw that with Liverpool, you know, getting so close, and then the season afterwards going again. That's what Arsenal are doing over the last couple of years, aren't they? They're trying to progress and they're trying to get that little bit closer every single time. And it feels as though from the very start of the season, they've just been a little bit off it.
The fixtures, if we have a look at their fixtures between now to the rest of the year, you know, they've had a tough start. They've been to Man City, they've been to Tottenham, they've been to Chelsea, they've been to Newcastle, they've been to Villa. You would look at that with Odegaard coming back and going, OK, Arsenal, if you are going to get close to the top 2, now's your chance to put together a run.
Yeah, you would, but the trouble is when you're 9 points behind...
Oh, sure, there's
no
room... I know.
No, and you've got a graphic of fixtures there, a block of fixtures there. They have to be flawless in every one of those games. Because one more loss or a couple of losses in there, and it will be over. So that puts pressure on.
Sure.
It's the strain of trying to chase down whoever it might be, whether it's Liverpool or Man City. It is what it is, but it's quite kind. So they can take a little bit of solace from that. I'm sure Mikel Arteta and the backroom staff will put that block of fixtures up and say, right, our season starts here. Let's go and win all them games.
Yeah, we'll see. Odegaard, again, as you say, comes in and is the assist for the first goal. So you say immediately he's on his game. And, Mario, they're all on his wavelength, aren't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes you have a player in a team and you know when he gets the ball, you react to it. OK, you know, Martinelli now, we talked about it at Sanchez, maybe you understand, gives him the opportunity at the first post and he shouldn't. But just he knows that he sees things that maybe someone else wouldn't have seen. And that is what football is all about. Having a player in your team that sees things and is on a wavelength, you just have to make sure, I make that run because he's going to pick me out. And I think that is what he's doing. And what Don just said, like, for them now, the journey is like, okay, I know City is in a difficult situation, but it's kind of helping them. So hopefully they can catch up because we don't know. We haven't seen Liverpool dropping that bad. But as an Arsenal team, you have to make sure you stay in the journey, and the only way to stay in the journey is you cannot lose at the bridge, and they didn't. And that is one of the good things they did.
What about Sanchez there? I think it's fair to say, if you took a straw poll of Chelsea fans, they would say that their team is coming together really well, and we'll talk about them in a second, but the goalkeeper, I would suggest they say, is a weakness.
And I think they would be right, because I see Sanchez... he offers far too much space. Now, if it's kidology and you're offering the right side because you want Martinelli to finish it there, but then go and save it, I don't think it is that. I think it's poor positioning. So I think when the rebuild, sounds a bit daft saying a rebuild when they've got 7 goalkeepers, but you know what I mean. I think that's
the next phase of.
The next phase of, that's the one where I think if they're going to get closer or win a league or, you know, really get really close to pushing the top 2 or 3, I feel as though that's the position. A world-class goalkeeper would save them so many points.
Yeah. Now, Pedro Neto's always been a really good player. It's just simply been a question, can he stay fit enough for long enough? What was your assessment of his game today?
My assessment of his game is that he is very confident. Not he was, because I think it's a very confident player, and I think also the way he takes the goal. Okay, I think Arsenal in the position where we were talking about, you know, Partey he's staying too far right. Together with Rice, they're picking up one player and then leaving that space free for him to go into and strike in that ball. He strikes it really well. But his confidence, the way he played the game and the way he started, he's using his space so well. And also, okay, he comes from Wolves. It's maybe a different way. You understand the way he played because you have certain talents in your team, but coming to Chelsea, you have more talent. So that is why he can expose his quality better, and I think he's a very, very interesting player.
What about his battle with Ben White then?
Oh, that was, you know, like...
You were loving that. You had a bit of right-back sympathy, didn't you?
Bit of scar tissue here, Mario, was there?
When they get in your head, this is a moment he got in his head. He chops him. You understand? And then when you know, as a right back, you're like, hey, you're not going to chop me again. I'm going to get you. He chops him again, and then he puts it right on his head. Boom. Yeah. And Gusto should have gone for that. Score that goal. But just the confidence. One thing I'm going to tell you, if you're a right back or a left back, never let the player beat you on the outside. When he beats you on the outside, he's in your head.
I sense a bit of scar tissue, Mario.
Yeah. I would have given something. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, I'm going to look at you. Yeah. I'm going to be kind to you. There are 2 things I'm going to do to you. One, I'm going to make sure that you know that I'm there. Yeah. So I'm going to make you feel it. And the other thing is that I'm going to
tackle, is that?
Yeah.
Producer, that's a tackle. Is that a producer?
Just a cute one. And then I'm going to make sure we go in the other way. Because he's got to get tired.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make him tired, he's going to...
And that was part of the problem, was it? Ben White didn't get him the other way enough, did he?
Yes.
Is that because, understandably, because he's so quick, Neto, Ben White was thinking, well, I can't go too far up the pitch because otherwise...
And that is the thing. Look, okay, I will not give examples, but just... I have to call one guy. When I played against Cristiano, I'm never going to handle his speed because he's quicker than me. But what you have to do, you got to make the guys tired. If you don't make them tired, you're giving him an option. You don't need to think about anything. And that is what Ben did. He said to him, like, you don't need to worry because I'm going to worry about you. Don't ever do that with a winger.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrific game, wasn't it? Yeah, great.
All right. 1-1 at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Arsenal. Chelsea coming from a goal down to equalizer through Pedro Neto. Outstanding strike from the edge of the box to give the Blues a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge, and then keep their position, climb in the table to third, heading into the international break. Wow, amazing. Well, after 11 matches, Chelsea are third in the table. I mean, that's crazy. Last season, at this point, after 11 matches, Arsenal were 9 points better than Chelsea. But this season, as you can see, they are on top of Arsenal. I mean, heading into the international break after 11 games. And they have played some big teams. They have played Arsenal, they have played Manchester United, they have played Manchester City, they have played Liverpool. They have played also Nottingham Forest. They are not a big team, but they are out there among the top teams in the table after 11 games. So they are also a very big team. They are also doing well this season. And also Brighton, that beat Manchester City last night. Also beat Arsenal. So they have played some very tough matches. You know, most of the teams they have played so far this season are in the top half of the table. So that tells you that this Chelsea team, they are making progress. I've said it before, they are making progress. You know, some people can still talk it down because their mistake has been, their defense has been so-so in the recent games, but they are growing. Fofana today was amazing at the back. The same with Colwell. So they are growing, they are getting better. And if they keep doing this till next summer and then add 1 or 2 players, then wow, you'll be talking about title contenders. But to be able to do that, you need to change your goalkeeper, man. They need to change that goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. For crying out loud, you know, how can you let a shot go past you? I mean, like that. you are at the post, man. You know, that's the area, that post, you need to cover it before even thinking about going outside. And unfortunately, the only place Martinelli would have put the shot, he did put it that place. And that's poor goalkeeping, in my opinion. And I think Sanchez, as much as he has saved Chelsea in a few games, he has also caused Chelsea a lot of points this season. And he needs to get better. There are no two ways about it. He needs to get better, or Chelsea will need to find another goalkeeper that is stable enough to avoid mistakes, to avoid dropping points, to avoid giving away points. You know, the Premier League is very, very competitive now, and it's going to get worse from here. And you don't need to throw away 3 points or throw away 1 point because of costly mistakes by the goalkeeper. So Sanchez, he's 26. It's not like that he is a kid. He's not. He's 26, and you expect someone like him to be stable already at this point in his career. He needs to be stable enough to avoid all these silly, costly errors that cost points. So that's what I think they need to do. They need to look at that, and also they need a centre back. But overall, they played a very good game, a very tactical game. They matched Arsenal, and the most important thing is they fought for every ball. They were very aggressive. You know, Arsenal team, they are a very aggressive team, and this Chelsea team, even though they are not too tall, but they were very aggressive in every challenge. They were like every 50-50 they were there. Every 50-50 they were challenging. They were winning balls. They were recovering balls, and that gave Arsenal a lot of problems. And also, Arsenal set pieces, they dealt with it, you know, reasonably well. They stopped Arsenal, and I like what they did. They tried to avoid conceding corners. You know, there were situations where the ball will be coming in. Normally, defenders clear it. Normally clears it away, you know, into touch for a corner kick. But this time in this game, they didn't. Every ball that comes in, they try to head it outside, even if it falls to an Arsenal play, it doesn't matter. So in this case, I think it's a brilliant idea not to concede too many corner kicks against Arsenal. But at the end of the day, 1-1 is actually a fair result. Arsenal, they created also big chances, especially one at the end that could have been converted, but Trossard touched it and then took it away from Havertz, sorry. So Chelsea will look at it and feel like, okay, they also created a good chances, especially in the first half. Gusto missing a very good header, clear header that, I mean, a little bit of composure, that would have been a goal. Also, Madueke missed a very good header. So Chelsea created also very good opportunities, clear-cut opportunities. So, like, if you watch this game, you have to agree that 1-1 is actually a fair result between two quality sides that produced quality football on the day, and it's good advertisement for Premier League, and it also confirms that Chelsea are there among the elite teams. They are already there competing among the elite teams, and they're only going to get better. The average age of this team is never more than 24 years. This, as in any game this season, is 23 plus all the time. So it's like, you know, how am I going to say this? Imagine this team in next 3 years, if they keep doing what they are doing, keep learning every day, keep improving, and the club keeps improving the squad little by little, piece by piece. Wow, you are gonna have a very serious team in the next couple of years. That's certain, the way I see it. So amazing football match. Two teams, we go home and feel like, okay, we could have won, but at the end of the day, draw is actually a fair result, in my opinion.